I'm here with English dance sensation Luciana, and we're about to have a one-on-one in bed. So, oi!
Oh! Oh, okay. I'm ready.
So Luciana, your song I'm Still Hot is racing up the Australian iTunes chart.
Yes.
Were you surprised by the reaction?
I was very surprised actually. It's gone up so fast that it's sort of like hard to get a grip or to grasp what's actually happening, and it's so a lovely feeling to be in Australia at the time of, you know, when it's all starting to escalate.
I guess Australia's been like your happiest hunting ground.
Yes.
I Like That was top 5, a huge hit over here.
Yeah.
What is the connection with this country? Why do people love you so much over here?
Well, I've got family in Sydney, but I just feel like that, well, they really love the track, and I don't know what it is. Like if I try to verbalise it, you know, that would just be unreal. So the only thing I can say is that they just feel the track and they're feeling I'm Still Hot as well. And when I do the shows, I always get a good reaction from the girls and the boys, and it's always nice to see the girls singing the lyrics and being a bit cheeky, you know. It's always nice to see them at the front row dancing, and you know, I love it here. I absolutely love it. It feels like I want to move here in about 10 years.
Oh, great. So what was the inspiration for the song?
For I'm Still Hot?
Yeah.
The inspiration was, it was actually originally written for a supermodel, a Russian supermodel.
Which one?
I don't know. I've got no idea what her name was, but part of the management team was going out with the supermodel, and he said, no matter what you do, you're still hot. So we wrote this track, and she tried to sing it, and it was really bad. She tried to sing it, and she sang it. I hooked up with your best friend. I stole your girlfriend. It was terrible. So in the end, I sang it, and it sounded great. There you go.
I guess a lot of people know the song because of the Betty White remake, which has been really popular. How did that come about?
The Betty White remake came about because I sort of randomly sniffed an armpit after a show I did in LA. And the armpit smelled totally gorgeous, and I started to talk to the guy whose armpit it belonged to, and a week later he called us up and said, I've got an idea, I'm working with Betty White, why don't we put you and Betty White together for the Lifeline programme, was an insurance programme, and do I'm Still Hot. I can still be hot if I'm a senior. Yes, let's do it. Let's absolutely go there. And we had her in the studio. She came at 9 AM, put her vocals down, and we did a video, and all the proceeds go to LA Zoo.
So was she fun to work with?
She was totally amazing. She was a real icon, and when I first met her, I cried. Oh. I know.
Did you ever worry perhaps that it might be misinterpreted as a bit of a gimmick?
No, I never worried that it would be misinterpreted as a gimmick, simply because it is what it is, and it's tongue-in-cheek. Yeah. And I think if it was anybody else, I would have said no. But she's totally iconic, and like I said, you know, she was. If there was anybody gonna do it, it would be her. Okay. So I'm happy for that collaboration. I actually think it's my best collaboration to date.
Were you surprised when it went to #1 in the US out of the club chart?
Well,
chalking up a bit of a tally there.
Yeah. The Betty White version did go to #1.
No, your normal version.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. No, totally. I'm over the moon. I really am over the moon. So you know, it's all good.
And I guess in addition to, you know, writing your own hits, you're also, you know, putting together songs for other people.
Yes.
Could you maybe talk about some of the people you're working with?
Well, we did a track for Cheryl Cole and T-Pain. Writing some stuff for No Doubt, Kylie again, Willow Smith. Gonna do some stuff with Nicki Minaj in December, so that's gonna be great.
That's exciting.
I know, I'm really excited about that. And just constantly writing, because, you know, primarily I'm a songwriter, so it's always nice to write for other artists other than yourself.
Working with the new Pussycat Dolls, is that still happening?
Yeah, we are doing some tracks for the new Pussycat Dolls. That's still under wraps, so I don't quite know what else to say about that, but it is happening, and the track does sound really good.
Awesome. And I guess everyone's really excited to hear if you get another song on Kylie's album, because Cupid Boy was so amazing. It was one of the best songs on Aphrodite.
Thank you so much. It's my favourite song on Aphrodite.
Yeah, it's my favourite song too. What was the brief for the new album? What are her people looking for?
They're looking for classic Kylie. classic Kylie, which is, you know, she always comes out with killer pop songs, doesn't she? So yeah, so that's what everyone's writing for.
Okay, and I was doing a bit of research about, you know, your career, and you've been going for longer than a lot of people. You've been
research on me.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been going longer than a lot of people expect. Than a lot of people think. You know, you started in the late '90s, I think.
Yeah.
But this is going to be your first charting single as a solo artist
I
since
know.
the late '90s. So how does that feel?
Somebody told me about that the other day, and it's not something I actually thought about. But they said, "Did you know this is your first sort of Luciana?" I just spoke about myself in third person. Your first Luciana single. Yeah, I know, it's totally amazing, isn't it? I'm really happy about it. I just think it's as long as I keep creating, I'll always be alright. And you know, whether it's Luciana or featuring, I'm happy with either. We are in the making of doing an album.
That's exciting because I mean,
I'm excited.
You have your featuring Luciana album, which has your all of your amazing collaborations. But would your own album just be mostly focused on you, or also collect? It'll
always be collaborations because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to work with just one person on one album. So, you know, definitely be collaborations. I'm collaborating with Tiesto and Wolfgang Gartner at the moment.
Cool.
And we've got a new track coming out called Wicked Workout. That's coming out on Phonetic. So really looking forward to that. You'll hear that soon. Coming out to Australia soon.
Oh, fantastic.
So just keep your ears out for that one.
How do you explain that you're such a survivor? I mean, over the years, so many people have come and gone, but you're still here.
I'm still here. I think it's just because I've got very big hair, and people have always loved it. No, it's because the only thing I can think about is the fact that I'm continually creating, and I'm not tied to the outcome. So I think to every sort of 8 songs I do, one of them might happen.
Yeah.
So if I'm always creating, you know, and you're taking the path of least resistance, and you're always happy with the song that you've just worked on, that's all you can do, isn't it? And then if it happens, then great, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is.
Fair enough.
Don't be unhappy about it.
And I guess this is a bit of a random question, but you've been in a few bands over the years. I mean, Crush, Portobello,
Jellyhead,
Shooter.
Really fly. Yeah.
What's your favourite of those 3?
I've liked being in all 3. Shooter, I really loved that period of my life. I think it's a brilliant album.
That's a really good album.
It is a great album, and I'm really proud of it. But for me, the album would be Portobello, because that's when I really started to define my sound, I think. That post-punk, new wave sort of sound. So yeah, Portobello.
Yeah, those songs really
Covered in Punks is such a brilliant song. And Viva La Difference, if anyone wants to go and check those out online, they're great.
Okay. And I guess one last question, and when are you going to be back in Sydney? Because you've had such an amazingly successful trip.
Yeah, well, you know what, I'm still here, so I've got to continue to be here. I'm going to go and do my gig in my show in Melbourne, and then Sydney, back in Sydney, and I think hopefully I'll be back next year.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, and it's been really lovely being in bed with you. It's not, you know, I don't do that very often.
I'm glad to hear it.
I'm quite shy. Thank you very much.